Welcome, adventurers, to Probability of Demise, the podcast where critical fumbles meet critical facepalms. Join us as we delve into the darkest dungeons, slay the stupidest gremlins, and roll enough ones to make a beholder weep. Forget epic storylines and heroic deeds. Here we celebrate the chaotic beauty of bad rolls, questionable decisions, and characters with more charisma than sense. We'll be your dungeon masters of disappointment, guiding you through campaigns where the only guaranteed treasure is a mountain of laughter, and maybe some psychic scarring. So grab your Nat 1 dice, strap on your anxiety helmets, and prepare to witness the glorious train wreck that is our D&D journey. Because, in the end, even if your character dies face first into a pile of pudding, at least you'll have the dice god's permission to laugh your ass off. Hi, welcome to Probability of Demise.
Hi.
It's a podcast where we play games and roll dice, and things happen. Let's see what happens in the story today.
Word of the day.
This is my segment. Dun, 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 dun. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to the Word of the Day. Today we're going to yet again dive into the mystical realms of language to discover a new word that will help in your daily quests to make you sound smarticle. Today I've once again rolled my magical, yet again cold D100 that Jason got for me. That sounded like Blue's Clues.
I was just gonna say that.
Today I rolled, believe it or not, and let me triple check that we have not used this number because now I'm scared. We have not. A 58. I know, crazy.
Wasn't last time a 57? Are you just going to work your way
It
up?
was. I didn't mean to. It just happened. Today's word is kinesis, which means it's the part of your spine, of your back that you can never quite reach to scratch.
That
What is
fucking
it called?
Akinesis.
All right.
It is spelled ACNESTIS. Today, with the sentence, a great sentence. The dragon stretched lazily, trying to scratch the akinesis between its massive wings, but even with its long tail, the itch remained just out of reach.
Nice. Can
Well done.
I drop a random fact about random that I learned on
About
QI
dragons?
last night? No, about random.
Yeah.
Randomness.
Okay.
So, Spotify, the shuffle, the random feature, when it first started out, it was actually too random because it would sometimes end up playing the same song more than one time in a row, which was true random. So then they actually had to modify the algorithm so that it's less random.
Kind of.
So that it doesn't play.
Mostly
it doesn't sometimes
random.
accidentally play the same song twice or three times in a row. So, fun fact. Thank you, QI.
That is a
Thank
fun
you,
fact.
Sandy Kovic.
And thank you to our sponsor, Spotify. No, just kidding. Not Spotify.
That would be super cool. Hey,
I mean,
Spotify.
we would take it for sure.
That would be, honestly, that would be such a generative experience. Wow. So last time, in the aftermath of your intense conversation with Miss Brand, the party has found themselves standing in the library, surrounded by some books on the enigmatic Slaadi. The weight of the revelations hang heavy in the air as you contemplate the implications of an organized Sled presence within the City Watch. Some of you may even think about familiar faces within those ranks, and realize that those may take on an even more sinister hue. And you wonder about any subtle changes of behavior and mannerisms that have occurred, and what sort of doubts you might place on their true intentions. With the knowledge that you truly cannot trust anybody in authority, you realize that you must take matters into your own hands. Your next step is clear. You should investigate the tavern in Underton that Grant had been visiting in secret. And it is a place steeped in whispers and secrets, a hub of knowledge and deals where the truth is traded like a currency. And as you prepare for this, venturing into the den of intrigue, grappling with the realization that you're no longer just solving a murder, the stakes have been raised and the fate of the entire city hangs in the balance. You must navigate the treacherous waters of deception and chaos, all while staying one step ahead of the sled and their puppeteers. Armed with your newfound knowledge and a determination to uncover the truth, let us watch as the party sets off on their next chapter. Are you ready for the challenges that lie ahead? And will they be able to outwit the Slaad and expose their infiltration?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Or at least, not, I guess, to not retroactively, or to retroactively have looked up this information while we had access to those books.
You're still in the library.
Oh, okay. I wanted to, I would like to see if there are ways to test if someone is a Slaad besides just like guesswork, like holy water with vampires or silver bullet, like something like that. Something that I could like set up so that if I, hypothetically wanted to test whether someone was themselves, I could do so.
Sure. Why don't you roll? Well, actually, first off, this will change the DC a bit, but how long would you all spend in the library doing this research in general?
Originally, I was just planning to take some of these books with me, and like read them during downtime.
You could also take the books with you, but just keep in mind that the day in which Brand was meeting with them is the next day. And so any research you do in the interim, whether it's during downtime of a 24-hour period, let's say, or something else, or even just staying right in here and finishing it up, or whatever, you could all just take it to a different location and dig through the books and such, whatever you would all like to do. But there's quite a hefty bunch of them. So maybe let's start off, if you're going to relocate with the books, let's start off with picking out some of the text to bring with you.
How many books are there?
There are 27 different tomes, some of more or less use, depending on...
What would the total weight of all those tomes be?
Let's see.
Someone has an empty.
And I'm so sorry while you're looking at this. I was I got weird internet-y things. Where are we that we're taking books? We're still in
The library.
We're still
Miss
in
Brand's library?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're just taking her books?
I asked if I could borrow them, and she said yes.
I feel like you
At the end
said,
of the last
can
session.
we use those? Not, can we?
I asked if she had
take
any,
them?
and I asked if I could borrow them.
Oh, I don't remember that.
What is 250 divided by 2?
125.
Thank you. It's 125
Okay,
pounds.
well,
Okay,
Wait.
so
you
I'm
can
gonna
do
leave
it
a
without a
note
calculator.
with the titles of all the books that I took on her desk, and then I'm going to take all 27 books in my bedroom
Okay.
holding,
Great.
and then I will work on reading them as we go along, and share with my friends if they want them.
I would like to see if I can find a book like within those 27 before he takes them, so he would be only taking 26. That's most
Okay.
likely to hold the answer to the question that I asked.
Yeah, that makes sense. So why don't you
You don't get all the
Larissa,
books, but Ed.
I'm taking them for all of us.
Yeah, but we don't always stay together in downtime.
Well, if you want books when we split up, then let me know.
Ulua, please roll a perception check just to see if you can spot one that the title jumps out at you.
I'm going to turn to
Roll a d27.
my very perceptive friend, Seraphina, and say, can you help me look for a book that would help us be able to tell whether someone's a Slaad, like some sort of test, or maybe a material, or like something. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Let me have a look.
You roll, I roll. Because my
well.
I only got a 16.
And this is a perception?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. 22.
Thank you for your help.
And I'm gonna go like this one. If I am able to find
If you
it.
met
If I'm
the
not able to
DC.
find one. If I didn't meet
this like
DC,
the
then I go.
Is this like the DM version of dominating from the bottom?
I was just watching this all play out and being like, okay, it wasn't that high a DC to begin with. Y'all are taking it so far. It's great.
You gotta hedge your bets where you can.
You, Ulua, Seraphina holds up this book, and you're looking at the cover, and it is a horrific depiction of a egg being implanted inside of someone and then transforming into what you can only think of as like a tadpole or some sort of other phase, and then becoming that individual. And you see that there are listed a dichotomous key of various Slaadi types. And you think, well, if anything's going to have it, this awful book is going to have it.
Well, that's a terrifying...
It's not the type of cover
image
you want to flash in public.
Yeah. I'll take that one and put that in my pack.
You can read the title as you put it into your pack, and it says the definitive source for the birth and transformation of the Slaadi.
Slaadi for dummies.
The first 12 months. What to expect when you're expecting a Slaadi.
No. Oh, I hate that so much. No me gusta.
All right. So, you head off somewhere together, or what? Like, I just need to know what you're going to do during this 24-hour period. We can be quick about it, or we can get into details, but I would love to know what we're going to do. It does sound like there's going to be some research done, but if there's any additional readings of any sort that anybody's getting up to or other activities, I would love to get that, and we can move through.
How many of 26 Slaad books can I read in I guess like 16 hours? Because I'm going to sleep at some point.
Yeah, if you're going to dig in deep and really go for it, and you could, if you're skimming, you could probably roll an intelligence check, and we'll decide. Let the dice decide.
Yeah, I'm smart. SMRT. SMART.
Did you
Never
take the
mind.
lucky feat?
Did I? I don't think I did.
You talked about it. That's the only reason I'm asking.
No. Damn it. That is a 4. 5. I do math. So 5.
So in the course of this,
My eyes are going.
you can probably get through like 4 of them if you like really intently study them, or you could get through 10 if you're kind of just skimming and flipping pages, which will just change the DCs on what you're picking up.
I'm gonna assume there's a
variety.
lot of overlap in what's contained in these books, so I'm gonna go with 4 very thorough reads over 10 skims.
Okay. Is anybody else joining? I know Ulua has a separate book, but is anybody else joining Gus in the research? Seraphina, are you joining in that research work, or are you doing other things?
I actually want to. I can be with Gus if he wants company, but I want to fix my little golem dude, my big golem dude.
If that
Get
only
him back
takes you
into
an
working
hour,
order.
that only takes you an hour of downtime. So yeah,
Oh, then
you just needed to do it.
and okay, so then I want to. What do I want to do? I want to go hang out with my dad. That's what I want to go do. Be with my family.
So you're gonna leave Gus behind after fixing your tool and go hang out with your family.
Correct.
Okay.
Bye, Gus. And leave. If you need
And
anything, let me know.
Oh wait, before we leave the library, I would like to establish a password, like a secret phrase or something between the 3 of us, in case somebody, the Slaadi imitates one of us, or a shapeshifter does.
I'm gonna pretend that you say that as Gus, and I'm gonna say, "They'll have our memories."
Really?
Do they? Dang.
I'm almost positive they have our memories, which is how they're able to imitate. They don't have necessarily mannerisms, but they have memories. I'm almost sure.
Well, I guess we'll read some of these books and find out.
Yes. If that's not the case, then sure. Maybe
Scuttlebutt will be the
Hang
word. If we need it.
Scuttlebutt.
If we can use
Got
it, scuttlebutt, you got it.
I got everyone to say butt.
Not me.
Okay. Anyway, what are you doing, Ulua?
Now I'm not sure. I was going to ask y'all to come with me to help see if
I mean, I can go.
Oksana is a slod, but it's okay. Maybe we don't want to do that.
Oh, I mean, I can do that.
No. I guess that can be a fight for another day.
I feel like we could more easily tell if she's a Slaad after we read some of the books.
I understand.
So-
I get it. That's, I don't disagree. Rick, I'm just trying to figure out based on from last campaign with like the shovel, is the whip something I can attune with more, or have I attuned as much as I can tune?
Are you spending any moments thinking about the whip?
I mean, if I feel like I've exhausted the relationship with it, then, or I've like maximized my relationship with it, then
Roll a religion check.
She's so religious. Can't see. That's not gonna go well. 11. Told you it wasn't gonna go well.
Better than my
You
5.
feel that the power of this tool comes not so much from any sort of interaction you're having with it directly, but your faith in the god it represents.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess in that case, what I might do is I might go. Is Tanzanite's temple still available?
Oh yeah, it's always
Okay.
available.
Well, I just
They're always burying people,
that's
cremating them.
macabre thought. Valid, but macabre. Death, taxes, two things true in life. Then I would like to go to the temple first, and then I will go to Gus's.
Cool. I will say this, that the whip,
If anything, just not even to necessarily achieve anything with the whip, but more to just kind of, I guess, get on that level, because Alua's really not. She's aware of religions, but she's not really religious. She was tossed around so much as a kid that she didn't really, and I don't mean necessarily physically, I just mean transient as a kid, that she wasn't really in anywhere or with anyone for long enough to have them instill a specific set of beliefs.
It's like when you throw a baby in the air, but then someone else steps in to catch it. She's tossed around.
totally understand that experience in a way that I would wish that was not true. So, Ulua, could you roll another religion check as you're there at the temple? We're not going to go through the details of this because honestly, this is the initial phases anyway. So, but I would like for you to roll that, and then.
That's a nat 1.
You get cremated. You trip and fall into the crematorium.
How interested are you, Ulua, in Tanzanite as a deity in general? Like, not aware that this artifact has a relationship with Tanzanite.
I mean, I either heard or like felt something, right, when I attuned with it. So I'm curious, but I'm also scared. But I'm like, I think there's like a movie. It's a good movie reference, but I can see it in my head, but I don't know what it's from. But like, someone goes to a church and is just like, long time fan, or not like that in this case, but like first time caller. Like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do, but I think you've reached out to me before, and if you can use me to do good in this world, then I'm willing to do what you need to accomplish that, in like a weird sort of prayer offering, like, "Are you there, God? It's me, Fiona." Like,
Absolutely.
As you're sitting there having this, like, are you
internal
there
monologue.
moment, which I think is a little bit more of a, it's not so much, it doesn't fit into a category of being like, it's a little bit more serious, right? It's like you're actually trying to query and ask, and then as with that natural one compounded with that, you are sitting there, and it's like you don't want to give offense, so you're being careful in that space and everything like that. You don't want to bring anything tragic consequence wise. You've already gained one boon from this goddess in the favor of your friend being brought back from what would certainly have been her domain, and this is not a goddess who generally allows death to be subverted in any way, unless there's a real reason for that. And you hear,
except for that one random villager that one time
You hear and you
what I'm
feel
talking
in
about?
your
Go watch
body
Campaign 1. Anyway, continue.
A query. And you feel like a sense of some sort of big question being asked. And as that big question is being asked, you feel from your whip the voice come. Do you accept it? Will you pay back this favor?
Can I ask a question back, or is it just a yes or no answer? Can I tell?
You can do whatever you want to do.
That's fair. One way to find out.
Are you asking the whip?
No.
Okay.
I was asking you. As long as I'm changing the world for the better, then yes.
You hear from the whip again, oh, conditions. But you feel from that divine presence that's infiltrating your body in this moment. Agreed. Your favors shall be fulfilled at a later date. And we'll fulfill our purpose together. And as you hear those words from Tanzanite's voice as the goddess of death, you feel the whip subtly change. And the voice that comes from the whip this time is a little different. And now we shall bring divine retribution.
Oh, God. Literally.
And you feel that whip is vibrating in a different tenor. You have unlocked the piety levels that bring you to the point where the whip not only has a random detrimental property that it might inflict upon folks, it also has a property where it can actually benefit your group, you, something, but you realize that it's going to be random every time you use the whip.
Okay.
So you're going to get still a little bit of a negative situation, but you're also going to get something beneficial. So you've moved past a threshold and you're kind of in the borderlands between the removal of that negative and the addition of that positive. You feel like if you could prove your faith further, you might actually not owe or have to deal with the negative burden.
Okay.
A banner unfolds from the front of the temple that says "No freebies for nat ones."
What's an asking for a freebie?
Gus, you've been looking through these books, studying them, concentrating on the 4. Can I have you go ahead and you're spending 16 hours, like a solid amount of time on these. So can I have you go ahead and roll a, well, what are you hunting for as you're studying these tomes?
I guess like how to detect one, how to maybe shapeshift one if it's like shapeshifted into a human.
Reveal?
Yeah, like how to like how to like just can you dispel it? Is it more of a like an action than a spell, or like
Sorry, I was wondering if that was more of like a reverse subtraction moment.
But basically like stuff about how to detect and maybe fight them, I guess. Since
Okay,
they're clearly up to bad things.
So what I would like you to do is first roll a survival check to see if you can, as you're studying this, find clues that would lead to the ability to force it out of its shape. And then what I would love for you to do is roll a insight check to see if you can garner information around the clues that would lead to spotting a Slaad.
Survival.
And Ulua,
is-
since you're studying that one text as well in that same vein, right?
Depending on how long my time at the temple took, I would have then joined Gus. So if I finish my book, then I would also move on to other books, just to put that out there ahead of time. But I'm happy if it takes.
It's going to be
the
more
full
a
amount of
question
time.
of it. Are you going to focus concentrated effort on this one book
Yes.
for the entirety of the time, or are you going to read other books? Because it's
Okay. Can I roll to see if I?
Like, it would depend if you get what you need out of the one book, right? Like, if
Yeah.
You finish it. Like, if you start to
Well,
go back and start over to study
it's
deeper,
not going to work out that way based on how these books are. It's like you're going to have to get all the really truly understand the book to depth. It's kind of like reading a story where until you get to the end, you don't realize the significance of the little clues that they put into place as you're building up the mystery or the story arc.
Yeah,
And then it's kind of like, oh, I got to reread the book to really understand those things. And you could do that, which means you're spending more time with this book and really getting intensely intimate with the details of it.
Got it.
Or you're reading through it and then you're going on to another book and reading through that one.
after 3 to 4 times of reading The Lord of the Rings, you think you're ready to read the Silmarillion, but then you try to read the Silmarillion and it's really complex, and then you just put it down.
And you go back to the Lord of the Rings. and you pretend that you read the entirety of the Silmarillion. But
I did, but I was 13 and I remember none of it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We all know that nobody understood what they read.
Unless you're Stephen Colbert, because he has that shit down. Anyways,
I would like to roll to bring Stephen Colbert in to help us study the books. So.
Okay, the DC on that is 40 plus.
My survival roll is a dirty 20. My insight roll is a 16.
Awesome. So with your survival roll, there isn't a clear method to doing anything, and you kind of go through a whole list. Like, would magical detection work in any sort of way? Is there any way to like pierce this? And it revealed to you that this is not an illusion or a disguise. It's truly part of their innate characteristics. So it's not going to be like you can immediately cross that one off. You also realize that this was the dirty 20. That
No, the dirty 20. Yeah, dirty 20 was survival. Yeah.
There might be some effectiveness to tools or weapons that are in opposition to their nature. If you could find the weapons of a holy nature that are imbued with lawful energy,
Like a whip?
they could be effective against the Slaadi.
I don't know if that would be considered lawful.
Also, any spells or abilities that deal holy damage might be effective. You understand that something as simple as like dispel magic isn't going to do anything, so that's also off the list. So the perception through magic and the dispellation through magic, those are not going to be successful. There's some sort of effectiveness with a oppositional weapon of some sort or magic of some sort. And then you start going through some environmental factors, and they exude a negative energy. So maybe there'd be a way to check on just like environmental impact of that negative energy and whether that could be found. But in a city like this, that is going to be tough. There may also be some benefit to being able to draw a creature like the Slaadi into an environment of lawfulness. However, knowing that they make up members of the city watch, you have serious concerns that those types of environments might not be in existence anymore if they've truly infiltrated the locations that are supposed to uphold law. And then you get into a whole section that is a lot more sticky. And you realize that there's probably something to some psychological manipulation that you might be able to utilize. You, as you're studying this and you're reading the stories and from all the 4 different books, you realize that they are, while they are powerful and unpredictable creatures, they seem to be very susceptible to emotional manipulation of some sort. So you think if you can provoke a strong emotional response like fear or rage, it might cause them to lose their shape and reveal their true shape. With your well, let's say that Ulua has returned at this point, and Ulua is reading her book. Ulua, could you go ahead and roll your perception check?
Perception?
Or not perception, insight check. Sorry, wow. Brain.
Can I keep the roll?
Yeah, doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Insight?
Yeah.
That's a 26.
Okay, so in combination, Gus, you start getting into it in your the tact you had with getting them to reveal themselves in terms of the psychological manipulation is, especially as Ulua is digging into things, supported in this area as well. So as you kind of glance over at Gus's notes and see that piece, Ulua, you begin to piece things out as you're digging in, and your first set of notes is around their behavior and attitudes, and that they're unpredictable. And with that unpredictability, you might notice a change in an individual who was previously fairly even killed, because they can be really erratic, going from calm to a rage in a moment. So that would be one identifier through behavior traits. They also seem to have a disregard for order. So suddenly someone who was law-abiding might become disdainful of laws and social norms. Now with your friend Oksana, you already live in a world that is that has tried to transform and disregard social norms to create new ones. So that might be a little tough to suss out. But then as you're going through this, you realize that there's another section of cruelty and sadism, that these Slaadi really enjoy inflicting pain and suffering on other people. And that does not ring clear to Oksana.
Another thing I forgot that I would definitely want to look for is, or two things actually, is if they retain memories of like the hosts that they imitate, or like of the people they imitate, and if they don't kill those people, where they might keep them. Those are two other things that I would like.
We can get to at the end of this.
Sorry, I just wanted to get it out there because I'll forget because ADHD.
No, that's great.
Okay.
Ulua, you, based on this, kind of align this concept of like, they're going to have strange or obsessive interests that just don't align with their apparent background. And you can see that that's different. And then as you dig in further, because you remember that the eyes were a little different when you saw through the mirror recording and you redid it a few times, there is information about an unnatural or strange color to the eyes that can occasionally be revealed. You'll read that there are stories in this one tome of Slaadi that had their host's color was a strange or unusual texture or color, and that people noted that people who were under the control of a Slaadi were often physically stronger or more agile than they should have been, which were markers. And then the final thing is that someone who had a Slaadi spawn within them seemed to heal at an unusually rapid rate. You also read about these very rare instances of Slaad that there's barely any information, but with a 26, you're kind of able to piece some of this together as like these random. There are some Slaadi that are beyond the norm, that are skilled in magic and have spells and abilities beyond the regular Slaadi behavior, and that some can transform into other creatures beyond just the humanoid.
As I read that part, I'm just going to say out loud, well, that's terrifying.
And so given this knowledge now of like Slaadi could be anybody but the basic run-of-the-mill Slaadi, they just transform into the person that they were hosted under. And as you, Gus, see that note about most Slaadi only being able to be or transform into the one that they were implanted in to consume and then become, it triggers a thought to you, and you flip back through one of your books. Could you go ahead and roll a medicine check?
Nope. That is a 4.
You can't find the place, but you feel like there was something that would have been really helpful in one of these books. And with that thought, you could share with your research partner, but you're both coming up on the end of your time of study.
I feel like this time, there's just like a montage of Gus is laying on the bed upside down like this, and then he's like kicking his feet up in the chair over here, and then he's like, but like it's just like a conversational, like you find something interesting, you say it out loud. So like the information that I'm getting, I'm sharing, and she hopefully is doing the same.
Right. So at some point you're sitting there like tearing through the book, unable to find the spot, but you're like, there's something to that.
Yeah.
I just don't know what.
Yeah. That.
I mean,
Ulua.
if I don't spend the entire time on my book, then I'm happy to try to go over it and see if I can find what he's referring to.
I don't know that it would be so much of like you leaving your book to help his book, but more help him brainstorm for a moment and help him articulate the thought that he had.
Okay.
So
Something to what?
My brain just completely shut off. Or what are we talking about again? I've been like trying to download all this information, and it's just.
It's the worst.
it's something in her notes around the transformation abilities.
Something about the transformation. Just it rang a bell for something I've already read, but now I can't find it.
Do you know which book it was in?
I think it was this one.
Roll a d4.
Ooh, D4. You don't get to roll that randomly.
Ulua, you look at the cover of this book, and it is kind of just rubbed raw so that the title isn't showing. But one of the like barely legible words on the book matches something you had from your notes related to the memory of incubation.
Were you trying to figure out if they kept our memories? Is there a section on that in the book? Is there a table of contents or a chapter list? Is there an index in the book?
Let me look.
Roll an intelligence saving throw.
Me or him?
Him.
Hey,
You gave
dirty
him
20.
the opportunity to redo this. With the mention of an index, you go to the back of the book and you find a page number, and most of these have been rubbed really raw, but you can barely make it out, and you flip back through and you find the section that her initial note that you had read mentioned, and you, as you're reading it, you come to understand that while they do have memory of the being's life that allows them to embody them, it only comes from the time of incubation. So pre-incubation, there is no knowledge. So when you look for, and this is why it's possible through behavioral identifiers to figure out who they are, it's because their older history, the host's growing up experience, all the way up until the moment of implantation, is a mystery.
So our password is safe. Scuttlebutt is safe. assuming none of us is implanted right now anyway.
Scuttlebutt.
Okay. Seraphina, as these two are
Wait, I
wrapping up their...
do have one more question.
Yeah.
So there's basically like 3 forms of Slaad we can encounter. There is a Slaad that is polymorphed or shapeshifted into a human. There is a human that is incubating a Slaad, and then there's a human that is controlled by a Slaad. Just to make sure I've got this right.
You have the tadpole that is being incubated within a human that is relatively ineffective. It's just kind of growing and consuming the host. You have the first stage of the Slaad evolution, which is various colored skins of Slaad with different rarities, which is after they've been incubated, which is
that's like
where they can wear the skin
right?
of their
Okay.
host. Has a transformation property.
So basically they like hatch out of that host, kill that host, and wear their skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there is a less understood, possibly third stage of their evolution, where they become more powerful, having access to magic and other things like that. And the details as you get to these greater forms are scant in these books. It seems that not many have either been able to document it or probably didn't survive encounters with these more advanced forms.
Okay. I was just clarifying in my head like what different Slaad formations we could encounter. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you spell Slaads?
Slaad.
Slaad.
Thank you.
Slaad. It's alive.
And the plural is Slaadi.
Oh,
Slaadi.
So it's not Slaads, it's Slaadi.
Slaadi.
Like an
Slaadi.
Slaadi. Good.
It could be Slaadi. I've only seen it written. I don't know.
Yeah, same. I
kinda
honestly
like
don't
it.
know how to pronounce
I kind
it.
of like it. Octopi, Slaadi.
I like saying Slaad because it has all this like creepy sounding syllabants. But Slaadi sounds a little...
It's very onomatopoeic.
I don't know, it just sounds
This
creepy.
is not the word of the day segment, folks. Get out of my territory.
I have a question. Can a Slaad's arm reach its agnestis? Is it long enough?
No creature
Just
can reach
ask.
its own agnestis.
That doesn't count. You didn't use it in character.
He was talking to you, Ulua.
Lies.
We all know when I'm in and out of character because I have Gus's dumb accent. So I just
Seraphina,
forget, which also happens.
you've corrected your creature, you've corrected the work on it, and now you're at home with your family.
At the home I provide for us.
Your mother is not there.
Ah, bitch.
And your father he's having one of his bad spells, but it's not one that you can do anything for. Unlike anyone who's trying to go through a recovery after exposure for a long time to a substance, this is possibly life as it shall be, or it's temporary, you don't know. But it's hour after hour of tremors for a bit, and then slackness as he sleeps. Then tremors once again.
I just do my best to comfort him, when he's tremoring, do whatever it would be that I would know that he needs, whether that's space or whether that's holding him, whatever. But I'm just kind of there for him, and then when he's resting, maybe just sitting there.
During one of these resting periods, I would love for you to roll a perception check.
Perception. Perception. What did that
I
even
can't think of
land
a
on?
word
What
to follow
number
that
is
up
that?
with, though, in the way.
Uh,
Oh.
Nice. Okay. Plus 5, 16, 17, 18. 21. To 1. Perception.
Okay. So you're sitting by your father's bedside, your heart heavy with worry, I suppose. You can hear his labored breathing. He seems to be having rough days or good days, and it weighs on you as it does, but you hear a commotion outside. It's a chorus of voices, rough and menacing, and they echo through the street. You hear the unmistakable sound of the clink of metal against metal, growls and yells and a scream of fear. Someone outside is genuinely enjoying causing a little bit of trouble.
Who would do such a thing?
This neighborhood is like not great, right? This is like the same neighborhood as where Gus gets his art supplies. And
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
I would like to go to the window and sneakily look past, like,
Yeah. Roll a perception check.
it don't matter if I do.
Don't get cocky.
23.
I wish her dice would have cocked right there because you said don't get cocky.
That would have been cool.
Peeking through the curtains, you can see a group of young, mostly masculine humanoids gathered in front of your apartment's lower floor where other tenants might be coming in and out. Their faces are obscured by shadows and by their clothing, but their menacing postures and a glint of weapons in hand speaks volumes to you. One of them in particular is kind of an imposing figure and has stepped forward and begins to speak, shouting up towards the building. His voice is thick with menace and carries clearly to you up in the window. It's time for your protection fees.
Quick reminder that we probably all have our earbuds in now. Just throwing that out there. So maybe we've been
Are they?
communicating. Maybe we've been communicating our. Gus definitely put his in.
I am so
I don't know,
reticent to use that thing. It freaks me the fuck
Yeah.
out.
I'm not
well,
gonna lie.
if you're not wearing yours,
Seraphina
then I
hasn't
guess
put
mine's
it
not
in.
in. Okay. Just beat it, little honey, and
Okay.
put it back.
I didn't ask for it. They just gave it to me. I don't want it. No offense, Rick. It just creeps me out.
I gave you something to be able to communicate with each other.
I know. But why'd you have to make it so macabre?
It's not that macabre. It just is a honey-eating little earworm.
Yeah, totally not.
So,
That can eat our brains if we don't feed it.
yeah.
I hate high maintenance things.
It's not even that high maintenance. It's a little living creature that lets you communicate freely without any cost or word limit to all of your friends
Yes, but if I
for a
don't,
tiny bit of
feed
honey.
it- yes, but all of us as people, not even like as players, not as our characters, can't remember shit. So you're just asking us to risk our characters' brains getting eaten.
This boy, is it clear that he's talking to me, or is he talking to, like, every tenant in the building?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. Insight.
Well, she does that. Is it safe to say that, like, I could just retroactively say that if I'm wearing this thing, I get up every morning, I make my coffee, I feed some honey to my weird little earbug.
Yeah, it
And
can
like
just
it's
be
like
part of
just
your
part of my
routine.
routine, and I don't have to say it every day to assume it's
Yep.
happening.
100%.
I like that.
Okay.
Okay, so that is only a... Where did it go? 9.
You know, you've been in a house where people came and attacked you and your father while you were both alone together in the house before, and almost the PTSD of that, what last happened when someone came and attacked you in your home when you were alone with your dad, is clouding your judgment, and you think he's just addressing you.
I'm going to start to try to go downstairs and walk outside and see how far I can get them away from the building. / pretend like I'm just leaving for the day.
So you're say that again. I just need to clarify what you're doing. You're stepping out of the building?
So yeah, I'm gonna leave. And sort of my mindset is leave as if they're not talking to me. But if they are, just try to get them away from the building. So like maybe they'll follow me a little ways.
Well, they're definitely going to try to confront you out the doorway because they're blocking you.
Great, that's fine.
Where you think you're going? Pay up.
I'm going to try to look
They
super
haven't
cute.
yet touched you or anything, but you can see
Yeah.
the menace in their steps, and you're looking super cute.
Looking super cute, and I'm going to go, no thank you. And try to get around.
I would love for you to roll a performance check
Oh,
to
good.
see if this cute dumb act works.
Performance. Okay, it's not a good plus number, so come on, roll high. 13.
You can see like one of the gang members off to the side kind of looks at you with a little bit of like a... but the individual right in front of you lifts up a dagger, points it right at your nose. Pay up. You're now the Tenants Association, and you're paying for everyone.
A dick move.
No, thank you.
Roll for initiative because that didn't work. Didn't work the first time, not going to work a second time.
How many are there?
There are 6.
Okay. Not 20.
Nice.
Awesome. You see them about to shove forward that dagger straight into your face, and you have your turn before theirs as they're about to...
You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to stab.
All right. So.
But they are fully about to stab you.
Oh, I know Batman.
Okay.
Ruh-roh, Aggie.
So remind me how, because I rolled a nat 20 in our version, this works. Do I get 2 turns, or I just go first?
You get to roll. You get to go through 2.
Okay.
2 attack
actions.
actions, yeah.
2. So you can get an action and then action again, which if you have multiple attack actions means that you can use those twice.
Right. Okay. So.
Action,
How do I want to
action,
do this?
bonus action, movement.
Okay. So
Bonus action.
I would
Remember,
like
this is in the split
to-
second. So what Seraphina would do in that, like, she's
okay.
got a lot she gets to do, but
So I get 2 actions now. So
2 actions and a bonus action and your movement.
and my movement. So my first action is I'm going to cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And then my second action for that turn, I'm gonna pull out my newly fixed golem
Okay.
and put him. I want to try to like roll him because he's in like a little ball. It's kind of how I imagined him.
It's like you just disappear, momentary shock, and then out of the
little ball
nothingness of
rolls
where you
out.
were, a little ball has rolled out, because once it leaves your body, then it is visible.
Mm-hmm. And then he pops
So
out.
it looks like you turned into the little ball, which turns into the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost looks like she's transformed. Actually, could you just roll a deception check to see if that's what they believe?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Let's hope this goes well.
This lady just turned into a Pokeball.
Come on, be good. Woo! 18?
Yeah, you to at least, yeah, I think you've disappeared and become a little roly ball that suddenly sprouts into the Steel Defender. Your Steel Defender is sitting there. You can use your bonus action to give it a command to take an action.
I would like to try to whisper into his ear and say, how do I phrase this? Because I don't want him to kill them. I'm gonna say, beat him up and scare him. And hopefully they run away. So, that's
Okay.
that. And then
I command you, beat him up and scare him.
And then I get my second turn because I'm not moving yet. Well, I'll step like 5 feet to the side so that like he can be where, you know. So I guess I used 5 feet of movement. And then it would be the start of my next turn, right?
So you've used your action to go invisible. Your Steel Defender is just a bonus action, and you have. Oh no, your Steel Defender is an action of itself too.
To
So you've used
get
both
him
of your
out.
actions.
Yeah.
So
And my
you
bonus
used both of your
action.
actions, and you've used your reaction to command him. All you have left is the movement. That's all you have
this
left, and then
first
it's going to
turn.
be their turn.
And the Steel Defender gets an action, right?
Well, it gets it. Her reaction gives it her bonus action gives it an action, which will follow her turn.
Yeah.
But right now, all you have left is movement. You don't get another turn after this.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, I'm actually gonna move to behind the group. That's gonna be my movement.
As you're invisible, I'm going to have you roll a sneaky sneak with advantage,
Ooh, baby, love it.
which we'll use to determine whether or not you leave their area of being able to hit you or try to swing wildly to hit you.
Yeah. Oh, that's cocked. Okay. Uh, 16?
You disappear, the ball rolls and transforms into your Steel Defender. The individual that was holding the blade to you, their hand follows the ball rather than with the blade, and it follows the ball rather than where you are. And you're able to slip away around to the backside of the group.
Perfect.
As his blade follows this rolling ball and it transforms into its structural self, your turn is over. And even as he's reaching forward to stab with the blade, your Steel Defender uses its force-empowered rend which is its attack type. I need you to roll the attack, and then you're going to add your spell attack modifier for the to hit.
All right, he's gonna get a mushroom die. Da-da-da. Yeah, the mushroom die is the best. Natural 20.
All right, so double the damage on the to hit, which I think is 1d8 plus your proficiency.
1d8 plus PB.
Yeah, I think that's your.
Those listening at home, tell us what PB means, because right now we're gonna Google it, but you be the
I
first
think
to
it's
let
your
us know.
proficiency.
Proficiency bonus.
Proficiency bonus, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
perfect.
so you'll
Okay.
you'll add 3 to it.
Okay, perfect. And this is a D8. Are you an 8?
I only know that because I
you're
had
an
that
8.
issue in campaign 1 with one of my.
Ooh.
I don't know why they acronymed it that way, because everybody just calls it proficiency. Plus, your proficiency would be much better language.
So, I rolled a 6 plus 3, so 9.
9.
And then
Yeah, 9 points of
double that?
damage and double the rolled part. So the 6 is double, so that's 12 plus 3
12,
is
13, 14,
15.
15.
Your steel defender, like, what does its force damage based appendages look like? I mean, I know that it had like some sort of fist thing, but I don't remember what they looked like.
You remember in Atlantis, towards the end of the movie, where those big rock guys come up to like make the shield? He looks like one of those. So he's just like big and rocky, but also kind of metally. And he just
Okay,
like,
so
boom.
So it curls its fingers together and boom, wham, right into the forehead of this individual. Their eyes
Slapped him on the head.
roll back, and all you see is the whites of their eyes and an imprint upon their slightly green-tinged skin of 4 knuckles. And they fall backwards, unconscious. You're fairly certain you heard a skull crack. This would have been, if your creation hadn't been pulling its blow, a kill.
Oh, I'm glad it wasn't a kill.
And
Just a little brain leaking out, but it's not dead.
He's fine.
forever never going to have a frontal lobe again, but not dead.
He's no longer the
probably didn't
smartest
have
member of the
one.
gang.
Yeah, he probably didn't
And-
have one to begin with.
You hear as the reaction of the other people around. Oh shit, his dad's gonna kill us. And the gang scatters. You have a reaction if you would like to
Yes.
attack you or whatnot,
Scatter.
I don't want to attack. What I want to do is
whatever reaction you might have.
I want to use thaumaturgy and think to myself, I need to teach this thing how to talk. And then I'm gonna try to say in like a big menacing voice, no one from these homes will owe you money.
So thaumaturgy isn't a reaction spell, and this is definitely a reaction.
Dang, it's just reaction? Okay.
So I know that you have the telekinetic reprisal as part of your gift of the gem dragon. I can't remember what that does exactly, but I think you
It's
have
when
to
I
take
get
damage for it
hit.
to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have an opportunity attack. You have the ability to absorb elements, featherfall, do hellish rebuke,
Yeah.
or shield.
Where is it? What am I trying to do? What am I trying
I
to
think
do?
hellish
Actions.
rebuke
Here we go.
requires you being hit too, so I don't think you have that one.
Actions.
So I think really you just have the opportunity attack or 3 utility spells.
Yeah, so 1 reaction which you take in response to being damaged. Okay, yeah, so not that one. So then I'm gonna just yell as a reaction in a big, scary voice to try to make it seem like that it's coming from my dude.
Okay, roll a performance check to see if you're able to play ventriloquist and voice thrower.
Did she get
Okay.
advantage because they didn't think
Okay.
that she turned into that thing?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I got you, Jess. I got you.
Jason. Yeah, Jason.
Lawyering over here. Not even rules lawyering, just like advantage lawyering. Opportunities.
And I'm doing a performance. So, 15, 16, 17?
You're uncertain as they dart away whether or not that was effective or not. But to you, it really did sound like it was coming from your skill defender.
And stay out.
Great.
And
Once
you are
they,
there with an unconscious individual laid out on the street. A little blood leaking from their nose and from their mouth and from their ear.
That's so
While I'm
Come
still
scoop up your
invisible,
friend.
I would like to where is it?
Well, she figures that out. I would like to apologize for saying you better come scoop up your friend from the new guy every single time that someone's unconscious because it amuses me.
Apparently I don't have. Oh, I do. I'd like to touch his little forehead, and cast Cure Wounds at the first level. To try to clean up
can
the
you roll
blood
an-
and stuff.
To
Can you
regrow his
roll a
frontal
medicine
lobe.
check?
Oh, roll a medicine check? Sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to cast Regrow Brain.
Medicine plus 2, 12.
You're uncertain as to the efficacy of your spell. You feel like it's fixed some cosmetic damage. But beyond that, they remain unconscious.
Might have made an enemy, Gus.
Nobody's there to hear you as you whisper this to yourself. It's invisibly, not so much anymore because you became visible once you cast Cure Wounds.
Yep.
You're
I'm
still
gonna
defender at this point.
I'm gonna say the code, which will be
Bop.
D-size, which
Okay.
makes him go tiny.
Back in the box,
All right.
Jack.
So stopping, it was about to run down and chase after the others,
Yeah.
given that its directions were to
Beat him up. Scare him.
beat him up. And it doesn't feel like it's finished because it's just an
Yeah.
automaton. As it rolls back up into its ball and into your possession, you are sitting there alone in the alley that is the front of your new apartment building with an unconscious individual and your father upstairs. You can hear a racking cough.
I'm gonna. Seraphina's torn. She doesn't know if she should. She feels bad for this dude because he's all messed up now, but also she wants to stay true to her big scariness. So she is going to. Honestly, she'll probably just sit there in uncertainty of what she should do next. She's made a big
Okay.
decision, and she's like, I don't know if that was the right decision. I don't know what I've done. I didn't have to pay though. So these are the thoughts just going through her brain as she's sitting there oh no. Oh no.
How long do you stay there having thoughts?
Until something happens. Whether someone comes out of the apartment complex, whether the guy wakes up, whether I hear my dad call for me, something to verbally or physically jolt me out of my brain.
Okay.
Stuck in a loop.
I would have you roll a perception check.
Okay.
And
Oh, I can't
honestly, if
use
you're
you.
there sitting over his body, could I have you just roll a I think I need you to roll a perception since you're looking at this person's body.
Okay. Perception. 16?
Okay, with a 16, you, as you're sitting there and spiraling, you realize that this individual does not belong to this neighborhood.
Mm.
Their clothes are just a little too nice. This is the clothes of somebody who is trying to feign belonging here, or is like truly just not of this neighborhood at all, and is pretending.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing at being a gangster.
Interesting.
Whoops.
And with that
Play
realization,
stupid games, win stupid prizes.
100%.
Or just win
with that-
stupid because you have brain damage now.
I mean,
That's so awful. I mean, you're not wrong, but oh my god.
not a lie.
Oh, that's so bad.
So yes, as you're sitting there with these thoughts, do you have any reaction to that information as you see that, or are you just still sitting there spiraling?
No, it starts to get me out of my spiral and more into... I don't want to, like, go through his stuff or anything, but I want to try to, like... I'm making a mental note of that. And now I'm sort of waiting for him to wake up. Unless it's, it's time to meet up with my friends. I don't,
So
time
depending
for
when
my-
this is, I assume we were going to come get her before we go to the place. So we might show up eventually if she waits long enough.
Yeah.
I would like for somebody in the group to roll a D100.
I think Larissa... Oh, Jason's doing it. He's already got it.
Yeah, he's fine. Go ahead. He's also got like more room to kind of do it.
93.
Ooh.
Ulua
heavy.
and Gus, you are walking along, and the street ahead seems really quiet, and you know that this is the street where, just down the way, Seraphina's new place is. The watch doesn't generally come down here, but
I just figured out why Gus likes this neighborhood.
but there's usually a little bit of life to it as the locals move around. And you come around the corner and you see Seraphina leaned over the top of an individual, unconscious, blood, a small pool of blood around their head.
Rough day.
What's the password?
What password? Oh, scuttlebutt.
What happened here?
Big mean wannabe gang showed up demanding money for protection.
Okay.
He's not
I
dead.
assume-
You did that?
Well, I gotta name him. I got Gollum out, and he.
Oh, I was going to say that's
I like Larissa's suggestion of Jack. In the box, Jack.
Jack.
because he's
Jack
Jack
it
in
is.
the box.
Yep. So Jack, got out, and I told him to, beat up the guys and scare them away, and
I'm gonna kneel down and see what I see. Maybe like medicine check followed by investigation.
Let's see
check.
what I see.
Okay, so start off with a medicine check and then roll the investigation check.
Medicine's a 9, not great.
You're uncertain, but they seem to be breathing.
Oh, he's alive. Nat 20 on the investigation.
That's a lot of nat 20s this
I
session.
know. We
Told you you
gotta,
were warming up your dice earlier.
tally
my
these
other
up,
dice.
baby.
The one that I
Just
rolled the nat 20 on when I was rolling out my dice has rolled shit all day, so I was correct. This is the other one.
just patting him down, you come across health potions, a potion of giant strength. Like this is untold wealth and
I'm gonna take
not normal
out
for this area.
I'm gonna take out one of the health potions and dump it in his mouth.
I grab the strength one and I take it. I go, ooh.
You
I gotta write that
as
down.
you dump the health potion in his mouth and you continue your check of him, he's wearing a cloak of elven kind. It's a pretty normal cloak in the upper echelons of the city, but it's not exactly streetwear. It's been made to look that way, a little bit rougher. But as you're looking at it, you can see on the inseam, the creator of it was, and it was a well-known designer. So this is a designer label cloak of elven kind, made to look rough and beat up.
It's like very hipster.
And as you continue this check, you're astounded by the sheer wealth on an individual.
He's wearing the D&D version of a $300 flannel shirt.
Yeah, 100%.
Hello, bean cloak.
I told him no thank you, that I didn't want to pay him, but
I don't think you necessarily did anything wrong. I also don't think this boy is from this neighborhood.
I don't think so either.
I don't know what he's getting
Not sure,
up to,
though.
but he's wearing very well-to-do clothing.
The guys that were with him did say, "Oh no, his dad's gonna kill us." So hopefully, whoever his dad is, will be mad at them and not me.
Is there like a clinic or a hospital near here?
In this neighborhood, no. But you can go down to the Temple District and
just trying to figure out if there's like a way to get him there, because obviously I can't lift him. We should probably get this more onto a hospital. Seems like he was.
Can we just
playing
dump him
stupid
at the
games
front
with
and
his
run
friends
away?
I'm gonna look through. Is there anything about like who he is?
you're not able to find any identification as such on him. Like he doesn't have his papers or anything like that. But as you're looking again at this designer cloak and the boots and other things, it keeps ringing to you. This is a lot of wealth. And maybe even more so than you would find in any area of Overton itself.
I would like to hail one of the air taxi things.
Hail.
Yeah, you can call one of those. And, in this neighborhood, it takes a while for them to come because nobody here can afford their services. But eventually, one of them comes by.
I'm just gonna like load his ass in there, tell it to take him to the hospital, and tell him he's got lots of money in his pocket. Like, he can pay for it. It's not my problem.
Roll an insight check as you do this.
5.
Great. You get the driver of the flying carpet. This is a flying carpet. Helps pull the body in, and then
I'll tell the driver like what happened, like that he and his friends tried to like hustle this building for protection money, and he got hurt, and he seems to be a stupid rich kid that is playing.
You see it zoom off to the south.
Is that where the hospital is?
Yep.
Well, this certainly won't come back to bite us in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing now, guys?
Let's go to there's a tavern, right? Yeah, we'll go to the tavern and see what we see.
All right. You all head off down to the
That you're
tavern, and
phrased
we will
to her.
pick up next time with our trio getting to the tavern and some interesting little history left behind. Thank you so much for joining us.
Home.
It's
Maybe we move
Never
Jess's
allowed to
family
go home by
together.
myself ever again.
you might want to maybe I don't know, not live in the most decrepit first option ever shown to you in space. But whatever. So you all are going to head down into the tavern. Next time we will catch up with you all there. But for now, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you find your own pod and have a beautiful and wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.